Greetings from MWN.com. Dr. M. Wilson, formerly Vice Principal and Head of Department of Commerce, Scott Christian College, Nagercoil, is delighted in presenting this session. Thank you. Please subscribe the channel MWN.com. Comparative Management. Comparative management is the study of the similarities and differences between management practices and systems in different cultural settings. It involves identifying, measuring, and interpreting the differences in managerial behaviors, techniques, and practices across countries. It also examines the extent to which management principles can be applied from one business context to another. It helps for improving the management system by comparing it with different companies in different countries. Key aspects of comparative management. 1. Cross-cultural analysis. The central focuses of comparative management is to examine the influence of cultural differences management practices. This involves studying how cultural values, beliefs, norms, and behaviors impact leadership styles, communication patterns, decision-making processes, and organizational structures. 2. Globalization and international business. Comparative management has become crucial for understanding how multinational corporations manage their diverse operations across different countries and regions. It includes analyzing strategies for entering new markets, managing cross-border teams, and adapting to local customs and preferences. 3. Organizational behavior and structure. Comparative management also involves comparing organizational structures, behaviors, and dynamics across different types of organizations. There is a need to compare large corporations, small and medium enterprises, SMEs, government agencies, nonprofit organizations, and startups. It includes studying how factors like size, industry, ownership structure, and management philosophy influence organizational behavior and performance. 4. Management theories and practices. It examines how various management theories and practices are applied and adapted in different contexts. It includes exploring theories of leadership, motivation, organizational culture, strategic management, human resource management, and operations management, and assessing their relevance and effectiveness in diverse settings. 5. Best practices and learning. It aims to identify best practices that can be adopted or adapted by organizations to improve their performance and competitiveness. This involves learning from successful examples and adapting them to fit the unique circumstances and constraints of each organization. Approaches to comparative management. 1. Socioeconomic approach. This approach is a theory that suggests that management styles and beliefs should be based in the economic and industrial development of the country where the manager is operating. This approach is based in the work of Harbison and Myers 1959, who believed that managers are critical to economic success. They argued that managers are responsible for taking risks, handling uncertainties, planning, leading, coordinating, controlling economic resources, exercising authority and power, making decisions for the organization. The socioeconomic approach to management, SEAM, is a different way of leading and managing organizations that focuses on both the people and economic sides of the workplace. 2. Environmental approach. This approach is a topic covered in the 2022 article, Environmental Approach to Comparative Management, by Ikechukwu, Charles Chimenum, and Aniki in the BW Academic Journal. The article discusses the topics, such as organizational structure, labor relations, management styles, differences in management and other differences between countries, and the effect of these differences on international business. Approaches related to environment. A ecological approach. This approach considers the environmental context and its impacts on public administration systems and socio-economic development. It emphasizes sustainable resource management, effective environmental governance, and a holistic understanding of the relationships between the environment and public administration. B. Chen's model. This model considers environmental factors and management philosophy, and suggests that national industrial policies are an important dimension of the external environment. 3. Behavioral approach. This approach focuses on the human behavior of administrators and administrative organizations in cross-cultural and cross-national contexts. It emphasizes the use of scientific methods to collect and analyze data. It promotes a broader perspective on public administration. It promotes intellectual cooperation among scholars and institutions of public administration across nations. The behavioral approach was developed in the late 1930s and early 1940s, and it contributed significantly to the development of public administration as a discipline. 4. Empirical approach. This approach is a method of gathering observable data to produce verifiable results. It involves setting out a repeatable process and often using statistical analysis to support a claim. The word, empirical, comes from the ancient Greek word empiria, which means experience. 5. Open system approach. This approach is a management theory that treats an organization as a system that interacts with its environment. In this approach, an organization is considered an open system. It means it is dynamic and flexible, and receives inputs from and gives outputs to its environment. Key points about the open systems approach. A. Inputs, throughputs, and outputs. An open system is made up of inputs, throughputs, and outputs. B. Feedback loops. Open systems also have feedback loops, which can be positive or negative and indicate problems or successes. C. Managing resources. To be effective, an organization needs to manage the resources that flow into and out of the company. D. Monitoring. Management of an organization as a system involves monitoring inputs, throughputs, outputs, and feedback loops. E. Making changes. Changes are made to increase organizational effectiveness or goal achievement.